1990 and sort of fell in love with it in many ways. So I went back and I thought, I want to come back and work in China. So it's either as an English teacher or as a professor. And I thought, English teacher, maybe, but I'm not sure if it's a career for a long time, so I chose professor, but I had to get a PhD. And so there was even double motivation to just finish as fast as possible and get up here. So I ended up at CityU in 1996, and 10 years later ended up Hong Kong U in 2006. So long story short, you can think that after 9 years at City University, guess what happens? I get tenure. Do you know what tenure means? Tenure. Like you get into your law. What's your favourite? What do you want to do? Where do you want to work in the future? What's your dream job?
Lawyer.
A lawyer. So you're in law firm and you make partner. And you're permanent. No one can touch you. You've got endless contract. How would you feel?
Satisfied.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had the equivalent. Maybe not the money equivalent, but the certainty equivalent at City University of Hong Kong. And I said to myself, Neil, you've got a big decision to make. Are you going to change the way that you've been behaving for the last 15 years? Or are you going to walk the talk? You understand? Suddenly I got something that was certain. Permanent contract forever. I'm going to stay there for 60 to 65. Okay? So I got a contract at Hong Kong U. It wasn't tenure, which is fine. And I said, go for it. Go for it. It was my dream. Because I knew that it would just push me even further. Okay? It wasn't tenure. I had to give up something to get something else. So be careful what you hang on to, because that can become the anchors of where you want to go to in the future. Okay? You've got to be willing to give up if it's not totally aligned with your passion. Okay? So Hong Kong U has given me so much opportunity the last 5-6 years, teaching MBA students, supervising PhD students, meeting great students like yourself. If I was at still City University now, it wouldn't be half of what I am now. Okay? And I wasn't pushed, it was my own decision. So in the future, sometimes, how many of you were pushed to actually come to Hong Kong U? Hands up. How many of you chose to come here? How many of you had many choices before you come here? You had many choices, you're very lucky. Okay. All right. All right, I wasn't pushed, I made a choice. So in the future, everything you do is your own choice. You've got to take responsibility for that. You know you're going to do that, all right? So I know that. All right, so that's my China stuff, my PhD, and we're moving on that. So what's my big learning? What's the other thing? Here are the things I need to say for you tonight. Before we talk about the real stuff, this is just a quick summary. All right, take a chance. You're going to leave your comfort zone, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, BBA law students, take a chance, leave your comfort zone. How many of you are comfortable? How comfortable were you when I asked you, would you like to play this? How come none of you said yes? What am I saying here? I said yes to working in a big city. I never worked in there. I said yes to coming to Hong Kong U. Okay, you said yes many times. I want you to say yes. If you don't say yes to opportunity, you will not know what you have missed out on. You're too young to say no to things. Okay, say yes to opportunity. Okay, all right. Let me just very quickly. All right, remember I held this up before. Did I not hold this up before? Did I not ask you who would like to have a go? What did you feel when I asked you, did you want to have a go? You think I'm playing a game with you? What did you feel? Oh, I might fail. Put your hand up if you think about that. Anyone? What else did you think that, oh, I'll look like a goose? Huh? All right. So, you know, as much as what I'm saying here now is motherhood and apple pie, that is, you know, well, this is not new than what you've read or seen from other people. Okay, but then why didn't you say yes to this opportunity? A simple opportunity like this. It didn't cost you anything. There was no energy cost. It was just that emotional cost. Your emotional side was telling you, no, 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 don't get up. Just stay put. Someone else will make a goose of themselves, but not you. All right? Okay? So keep that in mind. All right? Say yes to opportunity. I'm not saying it's about the instrument that will come to you in the future. Something else will come. It may be in disguise somewhere else, in some other way. And you've got to be aware of, is it your emotions telling you to say no, or is it a rational no that you're saying? Okay, this time it was emotion, right? All right, so I knew I'd get you on the didgeridoo. You can have a go at that later. All right, so let's... And I'm going to get you on a few more things, so just stay tuned. You need to find the catalyst to find the wars that appear. So when I went to China, I was able to find a catalyst with that. All right? And you need to work on your weakness. You see, my greatest weakness was presenting in front of people. So what I do in my PhD, I presented over 23 times before I graduated with the PhD. 23 times. The average PhD student may only present 2, 3, 4 times by the time they graduate. Then they go on the job market and then present 23 times. Okay. All right, don't give up. All right, you've heard that before, that's fine. All right, but say yes to opportunity. I was asked, I remember in 1989, I was only at University of Melbourne for 1 year, and one of the tutors said, rang me up on the phone Friday afternoon, hey, Neil, would you like to take my lecture on Monday? And I'm just having trouble putting it together to tutor to a group this size, 20 students, and like this. And now I've getting the opportunity to talk to 240 students in 3.5 days' time. And I said, yes, and then I hung up. I thought, oh no, what did I do? And I did it, So sometimes you've got to say yes before the emotions take over. All right, when you're on a tour, well, I went to CNN, the tour, and I was on a tour group. How many of you have been through Turner Studios? Okay, so when you go over to Georgia, make sure you go to the Turner Studios, CNN Studios, and they'll take you on a tour, and then they'll get to a stage in the tour and they'll say, oh, I'd like a volunteer. I'd like a volunteer, someone to come out and present the news in real time, and they'll actually record it and then play it back to everyone. Put your hand up if you're going to do that. And I just put my hand up. Oh, okay, why did my hand go up? Maybe I'm just a yes man. And so I went out and did it. Man, I was just so nervous. But sometimes you just got to say yes before the emotion and nerves take over. So keep that in mind. This is what has actually propelled me to where I was. Okay, so that's my background. But more now about you, because here's the good part. Here's the good part. Most of you are going to fail to have a great career. Most of you are going to fail to have a great career. And I've just talked about your dream and fears. You see this here? All right? I want you to hold this up. Hold this up. You can stand up now. Stand up and hold it up. All right? Stand up, hold it up. Seriously, hold it up. All right? How many of you really believe that you've actually put your dream on one side of the card? Have you? Do you really believe that you have? Or are you just playing with me? You have? What about, have you really believed that you put your biggest fears on the other side of the card? Have you put your fears on the other side? Okay, so tomorrow morning when you get up, which side of the card are you going to look at? Which side of the card? Seriously, which side?
Dream.
The dream. Yeah, I know, but you've got to get into the habit of looking at that. In the last week, which side of the card have you been looking at? Which side? In the last week, which side of the card have you been looking at?
Fear.
Yeah. Does that help you?
Yes.
It helps you, does it? How does that help you?
Actually, it's a reflection.
A reflection, okay, all right. But try this for the next 5 days, looking at your dreams, okay? It's not going to make the fears go away, but it's a matter of just sharpening your mind, all right? It's about sharpening your mind. You've still got to study, you've still got to do all the things you do in the university. I'm not saying it's going to be easier, but, wow, it makes it easier to get out of bed when you think of your dream first thing. But you've got to make it a habit. So you've got to do it every day for 30 days to become a habit. All right, habits are hard to form. You can sit down, all right? I'm serious. But here's why you fail. Here are some of the reasons why you fail. I want to finish up with this because I really appreciate you coming again today. All right. The dreams and failures I've shared with you with that. But here are the reasons why you're going to fail to have a great career. How many of you have seen Stephen Jobs' commencement speech to Stanford University 2005? Fantastic speech. If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. You need to watch it. It is amazing. Okay? All right? Now, many of you are going to have a good career. What do we mean by good career? A good career is something where you're working 80, 90 hours a week. Okay? And you're looking for the next promotion. And you're going to have lots of money. Then you're going to come home, but no time to enjoy it. That's a good career. How many of you would like to have a great career? Put your hand up. A great career is where that doesn't happen. You're actually over above that. Okay? Maybe it's a Stephen Jobs type career. How many of you would like to be like Stephen Jobs one day? Okay? Here's why it's not going to happen. Here's why it's not going to happen. Number one, I'm not a genius. All right? It's just luck. You know, there's people saying that, you know, Steve Jobs was born at the right time, Bill Gates was born at the right time, Buffett was born at the right time. It's just luck. Okay? But what about George Clooney? How many of you know about George Clooney? Hello? George Clooney? Huh?
He's an actor.
Yes, yes. He tried for 10 years to get into a major TV production. And it was about the early 1990s when they were auditioning for ER. Do you know ER? And he was just so dogged, determined to get the lead role. And he told the producer, "You're going to give that to me, either way or the highway. That's mine." And he got the lead role. But that was after 10 years of trying to get a big role in the TV production. Most of it we see George Clooney today, we think on a movie set, wow, he's great, he's a star. He was born nice, he was born in the right location, so naturally he becomes a star and he is a star. No. You've got to look. Some of these people have actually tried and failed, tried and failed, tried and failed for years on end to get to where they are. And we don't always see that. Okay? So if you look at Steve Jobs, and then he got the Batman movie, and then he got the Out of Sight movie, and then he got the Ocean's 11 movie. All right? Then become star from that. All right? So the rest is history, right? So keep that in mind. All right, Steve Jobs. I'm not weird. I don't want to be bad to people in the organisation. All right? Oh, he's famous, but he wasn't that nice to people, was he? Well, if I want to have a great career, I have to be bad to people. Okay, there's an association that one goes with the other. Does it? I don't know. But nice, normal people don't have passion. If I have to have passion to have a great career like Steve Jobs, then I can't be a nice, normal people. That's another reason why most of you are going to have a great career. There's social pressures put on you to be nice and normal and not to be different, not to be weird. Okay? Maybe you can be nice and weird is okay. That doesn't, you can be weird but not rude to people. Okay? But your emotions are going to tell you, well, you know, don't do that. You're going to be weird. Okay? Don't be so crazy. All right? Or another reason why you don't have a career is, oh, I have a plan. How many of you have a plan? Hands up. You have a plan. You have a plan one day to work for the Big Four or to a big lawyer firm or to be legal counsel. And you do your 80, 90, 100 hours a week. I have a plan because I believe in the law. Okay? The plan is great. Where was that plan hatched? Oh, maybe mum and dad. Maybe I'll make mum and dad proud. Great. What about you? Is that your passion? How do you find your passion within that society telling you, well, this is a good career, this is a great career? How do you find your individual passion? Okay? I have an interest. Passion is not interest. How many of you have an interest? I want you to write down, I want you to tell right now 8 things of interest. Tell the person next to you, quick, 20 seconds. 8 things that you are interested in. No, don't write it down. I want you to tell the person next to you. 8 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things you are interested in. Quick. It should be very easy. If you have to think about it, you're not really interested in it, okay? All right. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. All right, 8 things. Maybe you can write those 8 things on your card under your dreams. Not 8, but at least just put down a couple of them, just as an example. So what are the things you're interested in? What are you interested in?
Basketball.
Okay.
Watching TV.
Watching TV.
Chat with friends.
Huh?
Chat with friends. Movies. Debate.
Debate. Yeah, what are you interested in?
Playing from the game.
Yeah. Painting.
Drawing.
Huh?
Drawing.
Drawing.
Studying American.
Fantastic. That is amazing. So these are all interests. Okay, so one thing is passion is not interest. Okay? Your biggest challenge is to find out what is it in that interest is your passion. Passion is not interest. It's like when you meet your first love. I'm really, 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 really interested in you. Okay? Will you marry me? Why? Because I'm really, 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 really interested in you. Okay? Passion is not interest. All right? All of you naturally have interests. You can list them. It's really hard to find your passion if you don't have lots of interests. Okay? Interests are part of the foundation of finding what your passion is. Maybe you want to become legal counsel of a basketball team. Anything's possible. Okay? But don't cut your interests because it's not your passion. You need to have a whole portfolio of interests and keep exploring so you can find your passion. Because if you don't have a passion, you'll be burnt out and unhappy by the time you're 35. Okay? You have lots of money. You have everything else. But you may not have your dream career because it may not be aligned with your passion. Okay? Passion is your greatest love. That's hard. How do you find your passion? All right? Start with the interests and have lots of them. And then just keep pushing it. Keep pushing it. Find a way of doing what you're doing now that aligns with your interests. Okay? You just got to keep on pushing it and you've got to keep on saying yes to opportunity. All right? So, the other thing, and this is a big thing, you need to look for alternatives, but this key word, massive action. Massive action. How many of you have taken massive action any time in your life? Most of us take action. You all know that plan, we act, we look at the results, and then we reformulate our strategy. You all know that. Put your hand up. You all know that. Can everyone put their hand up? You all know that. You're smart. All right? You have a plan, then you act, and then you look at your results, and then you reformulate. Does the results match my plan? I didn't get that high in midterm test. Maybe I'll study harder. Okay, I'll try again. All right? There's always that going on. We all know that. I don't want to teach you that. But the big missing thing, why so many people fail to have a great career or fail to move their interests into something that really, really big where they can find their passion, is they don't take massive action. Massive action. massive action. That is 10 times more action in a particular area. Try that. Be more intense in your interests and see what happens. Okay? Do 20 paintings. It may change your life. Okay? Do something strange with your Lego. Okay? Do something with basketball. You never know what will happen.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does massive action also include trying something new? Like absolutely different from what you're doing?
Yes, trying something new, but trying it in a big way and just really throwing all of your emotions and thoughts into it. Okay, and I'll give you one example. Most academic research, we go and interview 20 companies, 30 companies, 40 companies, 50 companies, 100 companies. Very few 150, very few 200. Beyond that, we do surveys. That is, we get consultants to go and do surveys for us. We get it back and we just run the numbers. Fine. So now I thought, no, enough is enough of that 15 years. I want to engage more with industry as well as publish in top journals. So now I'm doing 1,000 interviews of Chinese suppliers. That's what we call massive action. And everyone says to me, why 1,000? Why not just 100? I said, because I want to do the biggest in history. All right? And I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about getting information from Chinese suppliers and being one of the leading knowledge experts of how Chinese suppliers become world-class firms. Okay? That doesn't mean I can't be a presenter, all right? But I'm still searching. I want to be a top-class presenter and motivator in Asia, but I'm still doing this massive action. You can do 10 times more things you're doing now if any of those things are aligned with your passion and just exploration of your future. Okay? So don't restrict your interests because you won't find your passion. You won't. That's what happened. Massive action. So the secret to fast results. I'll give you one last physical exercise. I've got you to stand up. I want you to hold your breath for 10 seconds. If you feel it's against your physical, you're unable to do that, then don't do that. That's fine, okay? So I'm going to hold my breath for 10 seconds, but you don't have to, all right? But I can do it. Okay, that's enough. All right, how many of you did that? How many of you? Okay, all right, so that's physical activity. Let's be very clear. We want to transform you in time tonight. Okay? Now what we've talked about so far is actually saying yes to opportunity. And I gave you some examples of that card. That card is very, very important. But we've got to bend time. How do you bend time? You need to align the physical, the mental, and your emotions. Okay? You hold your breath for 10 seconds. If you hold your breath and you do that 10 times every day, it can be nearly equivalent to going for a run. Okay, in terms of physically. All right, how focused were you when you were holding your breath? You become much more focused for that time. Do you think you could multitask? No. And that's one point. Your brain is not set up to do multitask. What you need to do is multitask your emotion, your physical, and your thoughts together. So what you should do, here are things you should do. Okay, we can bend time. How do you bend time? When you have a deadline. How many of you have had deadlines in the last month? Hands up. What happens just before the deadline? Or what happens leading up to the deadline? Do you become more focused?
Yeah.
Put your hand up. Do you become more focused? Did you know during that time you bent time? You actually slowed down time. You know why? Because you know, after you met the deadline, how did you feel? Relief? You know what happens, that feeling of relief? That's your emotion just disconnecting from your thought. You see, leading up to that deadline, your emotions are totally aligned with your thought processes. And that's when you bend time. What you need to learn how to do is actually to get that alignment, make it a habit. Let me repeat. All of you have experienced bending time. And you've seen it. I've done it. It happens to me too. Just before a deadline, you know, you've got 25 minutes to do something and you're just so focused and you just type twice as much in half as time. How many of you have done that before? You know how to do it because your emotions are so aligned with your thoughts. Wow, wouldn't it be good if you can do that at the drop of a pen and not have to have a deadline to do that? I tell you when that happens when you're doing things that are aligned with your passion. Because when you finally find your passion, your emotions become easily aligned with your thoughts. So most of you probably don't know what your ultimate passion is now, but my message tonight is you've got to find it. You've got to look for it. If you don't know it yet, you've got to keep looking for it. Don't stop looking. Don't give up. Please don't give up. You're too young to give up on your passion. I know, look, don't just settle on what you're passionate about now. Just double check, triple check, is it what I really, really want? Okay? Because when you do find your passion, your emotions will align with your thoughts, and it's just you don't need deadlines to do things. You just live and breathe what you're doing. Okay, so that's part of bending time. It's very hard to bend time if your emotions are going on. How many of you have gone to the library and you had to do some study, but your emotions are somewhere else? Hands up. All the time. I know, I did it myself. When I was at university, I was going to the library. I was very serious when I was at university. Well, I had to be, right? I dropped out of school and it was my last chance. You know, I got sort of left 2 jobs and it was my last chance. So I go to university, I go to the library, someone starts talking. Shh, shh. I'll do that. My brother did that too, all right? He was 3 years younger than me, we were both in university together. But can you imagine how rude that is to other people when you go, shh, all right? Does anyone do that in the library here? No, everyone's too nice to each other. But I was just so focused because my back was against the wall. When your back's against the wall, your emotions align with your thoughts. You have to do that. It's survival. It's survival. So how do you get that feeling of survival without feeling that you're going to die? That's when you've got your passion. And if you haven't got it now, you just got to keep looking for it. Okay? Now, that's what we're bending time. Speed exercise, and we did bend time. How many of you don't have enough time? Put your hand up. You still don't have enough time? Exactly, I know that. All right, time is not the problem. This is my message to you. The problem is you are not aligning your emotions with your thoughts. Okay? You'll have emotions, I know.